Welcome back, Clipper Nation, Clipper fans. We are here, Full Clip Clippers Unleashed. I am Michael Matthew. We are inside of Crypto.com Arena, where the Clippers are back at it. A quick turnaround. They're going to be facing off with the Indiana Pacers, who played last night here in LA versus the Lakers, suffering a defeat. But the Clippers suffered a surprising defeat, one of their worst losses of the season. Beef. Which Clipper team is the real Clipper team? Is it the one that beat Portland back to back, or is it the team we saw yesterday afternoon?
Like I've been telling everybody, looking at the Portland team, I don't count that as a win. I don't even count it as a stepping stone. I don't even count it as an organic way of just feeling good about yourself.
Mm,
What the real thing that has to be addressed with the Clippers is who's going to show up.
mm.
Right now, you're currently looking at a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of feel, and that's not feeling good right now.
And we heard Ty Lue. He's been saying it all at. It seems like every presser. The main three things for this team: rebounding, fast break defense, and turnovers. But Beav, you got three things that you feel that this team needs to put together so that they can be as successful as all of Clipper Nation hope.
Definitely. My three takes for the Clippers is going to be dedication. See if this team is even dedicated to even understand what Ty Lue is telling them, because eventually it turns into white noise. Number two is going to be leadership. Who in this locker room is going to take that leadership role and is going to steer the ship that's going to get them to this championship that we long been waiting for? And the last one is going to be heart. You just have to buckle down. A lot of people been in the league for a long time. You have Kawhi, you have PG, you have James, you have Russell. Who's going to be the heart of this team? We all know Russell is a heart being a heart post. But when he's not around, who's going to take that role? Who's not
Yeah.
just going to pass the buck to other teammates?
And it's gonna take everybody. We know the saying. It's gonna take a village. It's gonna take exactly that for the Clippers to take the next step. But hey, one big thing you mentioned, Russ. Russ is back tonight. He's
Yes,
gonna be
sir.
playing, no minute restriction. So
Mhm.
that's gonna be great. But let's listen to Coach Ty Lue as he talks about the return of Russell Westbrook.
What's up? How you doing, BT?
Is Russ playing today?
Yes, sir.
With him coming back, obviously there's been a lot of talk about energy, effort. I know you have pushed back against everything a little bit, but how much of a difference is it having him on the court being able to bring that energy intensity as opposed to having him like being in guys' ears? Because obviously he's still been up and talking to guys, but how big of a difference is actually having that on the court?
Yeah, I think having that pace and having that energy, on the floor, is definitely infectious, and we need that. We need that pop. Getting easy baskets in transition, but it starts with our defense of getting stops first. That's how we can get out early and get into transition. So just having that energy, like you said, coming in off the bench, having that pop, we could definitely use that.
Ty Lue, I'm baffled by your team, man. Could you explain to me what's going on? What I need to know? Why you guys are in this funk?
We're a 500 basketball team.
Why is that?
Maybe that's what we are.
But your talent doesn't say that.
Talent says a lot of things, but we just going through a tough time right now. So, like I said, I feel confident. You might be baffled, but you're not in the locker room, so it don't really matter. But for our guys, like I said, we feel confident. We take care of what we're supposed to take care of. Like wins to start piling up, and so we have the talent, like you said. We are good enough, and we got to play better. I know, like we talked about, 28th in the league, and since January 1st, and open three-point shots. Our transition defense is getting better. We got to get that better, to make teams play against our set half-court defense, because in our set half-court defense, we are pretty good. But now teams are just targeting of getting up early, getting in quick, attacking us early before we can get our defense set, and we got to get better with that.
That's a lot, man.
Those are two things, but I just went to.
I'm confused.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, just what's your thoughts on the play of your bigs? Because during the run, you guys went 23-5. Zubac was a double guy. Tice was fitting in pretty well. So, what's your thoughts of what they've been doing lately?
I think Zoo, just when he came back from the calf injury, and then he got sick, and then it took a while to get over his sickness. And so the last few games, I thought he's really, getting back to being who he was before he got hurt. And DT and Mace, like I said, just using both of those guys, just trying to figure out every night, which guys fit our rotation. But like I said, the biggest thing is just Zoo getting back to being who he is.
T-Lou, how y'all plan on stopping this Pacers team tonight?
Yeah, I don't know.
Remembering back to the summer, you coached the point guards, so you worked with Tyrese. What did you like about working with him?
Smiled every day. Just a joy that he had playing the game of basketball. And he got happy and got excited when he was able to throw a lob pass or a no-look pass for a three. It wasn't about scoring. It wasn't about dunking on somebody. It was about getting his teammates involved and seeing other people do well and be happy for that.
He has been mentioning lately that he kind of deals – anxiety is the wrong word, but he has a sense of urgency to be great and to accomplish some things right away, and that he's a little hard on himself at times. Did you notice that at all this summer, like sort of the internal pressure that he applies to himself?
Yeah, I wouldn't say internal pressure. I would say competitive, with himself. Like if he turns the basketball over, if he misses a couple shots in a row that he knows he can make, things like that, he will always get frustrated with himself. But I wouldn't say it pressures. Like I say, he's young in the game. He's gotten better each year. And, Rick has done a great job of just, put him in a position to be successful. And like I said, Ty's taking off, and he's really doing some good things. And so just, being hard on himself, like if he should have made the right pass or if he missed somebody, things like that, he would get frustrated and get mad at himself.
Ty, last night, PG said that if the guys could pinpoint why the lack of focus was lacking, that they'd be able to address it. From you, what do you attribute the lack of focus to? And is it concerning to hear that the guys don't know why there's a lack of focus?
Yeah, it is concerning.
What do you attribute it to?
Ask PG.
You don't have a guess?
Oh, yeah, I contribute to the three things we talk about before every game and the things we talk about after every game. Taking care of the basketball is one. Rebounding the basketball is two. And transition defense, that's three. Like raise the shot, get back on the raise of the shot, and then those three things, we take care of those three things, wins will pile up, but we got to do those things consistently for 48 minutes and not 28, not 32. So it's the same message, so you know what it is. So next time, just tell PG those three things.
You had said if you had to do something yourself to kind of get the medals right, you'll do it. Have you had to do anything?
I'm going to.
Like out of character?
Maybe.
Is Russ going to be on a minutes restriction tonight?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Because his conditioning's fine. It's just really
just a hand. So his conditioning's fine. So he's been working out, doing all the things he needs to do to be ready to play, and so no minute restriction.
Ty, overall, how have you tried to manage things with the group, knowing that they do have the potential to have more wins than they currently have?
Showing a lot more film, practicing and having more shoot-arounds, practicing more, just trying to get them to understand what's important, and they know and they understand it, and that's it. Yeah.
I look back at that game against the Pacers in December, and I feel like you guys did a lot of the things that you're talking about in terms of there was also a lot of joy, a lot of fun. Obviously, James doing what he did. Do you go back and watch games that had moments like that as part of your trying to recalibrate and refocus this team, or are you focusing on the here and the now of what they're doing as opposed to trying to get creative and going back to where they were kind of peaking?
Yeah, we have. Well, we showed all the good clips and how it should look, and when we've done it, and then we show when we don't do it, and the results of both. When we do it right and we do it the right way, you get better results. And it doesn't mean you're gonna make every shot because you slot cut or you get the spacing, but you give your chance a better shot. You give yourself a better chance. And then same thing defensively. If you sprint back in defense, you get a tandem, you get a triangle, they still might score, but we did the right thing. And so just doing the right thing consistently is the biggest thing. And so just doing that. And so we've been doing it. We've been getting better, but we're not there yet.
And Coach, it seems like it's been a tale of two teams for you guys. You guys struggled in the very beginning as you guys tried to acclimate James. You guys turned it around once Russ requested to come off the bench. You guys were tops to West. Now, over this past month, you guys have teeter-totter, consistent, inconsistent. So, in your opinion, what one thing, I know you touched on a lot here over the last 10 minutes talking, but what one thing would you say has stood out to you the most over the past month regarding your team and why they have not being able to play to the level they did when you guys were 26-5? And
does it have to be one?
Well, I didn't want you to run off a whole bunch. I know you've been doing it, so I'm just looking for one.
Yeah, well, if it's one, I would say control we can control, and that's transition defense. Like the first 8 seconds of a shot clock, like let's get back, let's get matched, let's set our defense. And if we do that, we'll be fine. We'll be better. We'll be better. But it's tough to score the basketball when you're taking the ball out the hoop every single time. And now you got to play against another team set defense. And so when you're not getting stops, you're not getting out in transition, a lot of different guys are not touching the basketball, it's not fun to play that way.
Ty, is this year, let's say this last 2 months, is this a different coaching experience than you've had in past years?
In what regard?
I mean, you're saying the same thing over and over again to us, and there just doesn't seem to be a change. Have you had to endure something
It's been
like
a
this?
change. We did better in Portland. We got
But
back
you're-
in transition. We pay attention to detail. I mean, consider who we were playing, but still, we got out of the corners. We sprinted back. We got back and got matched. And so tonight against the fastest team in the league, we got to make sure we do it tonight.
Well, this 2-month stretch where you've had to say the same things over and over, have you had to have this kind of coaching experience before in past stops in past years at all?
I don't remember doing that.
So we are back. We just heard from Coach Ty Lue. You can kind of see the frustration on his face because we all know, the world, NBA world knows, this is a talented roster with some top-heavy players at the top. You got 4 guys that are going to be Hall of Famers. Norman Powell looks like the guy that's going to be the 6th man of the year.
Yes.
But they can't figure it out, especially at this time of the playoff push. Well, what could be said to this Clipper team to help them get to that level that we all expect them to be, Beef?
Man, it's going to, like I said before, it's going to take some real looking in the mirror type of things.
Okay.
We can always paint pictures of necessary this should be done, this should be done. We already know what should be done, but it has to take, you have to take that long look in the mirror and see what man's going to arrive to the floor. And
Okay.
that team definitely need to do that. Not question nobody's manhood or anything like that, but I'm definitely questioning the heart of this team because the
Okay.
heart is the pulse of this team is fading very, very fast.
Yeah, and we talked about it before we recorded here, is that players have to play. Players are the ones who has to make things happen. I feel that Coach Ty Lue is doing a hell of a job, him and his staff, but these guys have to come and play day in and day out. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're going to see tonight, but Clipper Nation, hopefully it's a Clipper win for you. Michael B, we going to be back, hopefully with a happy mood because the Clippers got to win. So we catch you guys post-game.
Let's go.
Michael Matthew here, Full Clip Clippers Unleashed. I told you before the game, we're going to either be very excited or very somber after this one. And that sad feeling is all over the Clipper Nation. 133-116 defeat to the Indiana Pacers. What is going on, Beef? Very uninspired after the first quarter. Coach Ty Lue is frustrated trying to figure it out. What is wrong with this team right now?
You said it. Very uninspired. If you have a team this late in the season yelling, I'm searching for their identity, that's when you're going to run into these crosswords when they're not doing good at all. Again, like I said before, dedication, heart, and leadership. We did hear from Russell in regards to the leadership aspect of it, but now it just boils down to it. I said it before, they need to take time, look in the mirror, and that's where the heart and the dedication is going to come from. It's taking a step back, finding out who your identity is, and then go from there.
But you mentioned Russ. I'm happy you did because we all thought, everybody around the Clippers is like, once Russ returns, that this team is going to look like the way they're supposed to, but it didn't happen tonight. And he played well. He played a really good game. They shot 23s. Indiana Pacers made 17 threes.
Definitely.
So what can Ty Lue do? Because I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words on what I'm seeing right now from this Clippers team.
Well, you can't teach effort. When shots go up, you got to crash the boards. When shots go up and you miss, you got to sprint back on defense. That don't come from the coach. That comes from the player aspect. And if the players is not doing that every single night, you're going to get the results you're getting, L after L after L.
And we saw tonight that he only played one big. He got Zubac in there, and your favorite guy played some minutes at the 5, P.J. Tucker. What's going on? Like, I'm trying to figure out what Ty Lue seems like he's trying to do everything he can to get this team going. Do you see any fix, something that can happen to get this team close to when they were 26-5?
The fix is going to have to come from 2 players. One player is now under contract, which is PG, and you have another player that's searching for an extension of a contract. Those are two players. The player that's solidified and got his money, he ain't worried about nothing, right? That's Kawhi. But when you have these two players that are not happy with their situation, probably outside, is bringing that outside noise inside.
Okay, so we had Coach Ty Lue. He was there in the post-conference press conference. And then we have Russell Westbrook, who was also there. So you guys check it out.
Fuck me, can't play.
Well, in talking to James, he used the I word, identity, that we've discussed many a times. Didn't have one. Do you guys have one, or is it gone somewhere?
Who you said what now?
James Harden mentioned that you guys didn't have an identity. You guys have had one. Where is it?
Well, can we start with this identity?
Yes.
We can shut the door first. Dante, can you shut that door, please, sir? So identity, for us, it's got to be toughness, which means physicality, mentally and physical toughness. A high-powered offense. We can score a lot of different ways. And we got to have a defensive mindset. And so right now, do we have an identity? I think, yeah, we're soft. That could be an identity, if you want to call it that. Like, we got to be tougher, like mentally and physically. But we do have an identity. When we were 26-5, we had a great identity. So you can't pick and choose when you want to lead. You can't pick and choose when you want to have identity. You can't pick and choose when you want to do things the right way. And so just do the right things every night, and everything else will fall in order. And so, yes, we do have an identity. We got to get back to that, because we've had it, But when you lose games, it's easy to go the other way, and we're not going to do that. And I'm not going to let our team do that. And I'm tough-minded, and so I've been through everything, and so are these guys. And so the only way we're going to get out of it is playing hard for 48 minutes, doing things right every single night, every single possession, not 2 out of 5, not 2 out of 6, not every time. Just do the right thing, and you'll be able to get out of this rut, And so, yeah, we have an identity, but right now our identity has been shaken because we're not winning. We're not doing things the right way consistently, and so when you don't do that, you're going to lose. You're going to lose games you should probably win or you think you should win, and you're not going to play as good as you think you should play. And so I thought the first quarter, we were great. I thought we really did some good things on both sides of the basketball. And then can we sustain it? Can we do it for 48 minutes and not just one quarter or 2 quarters or 2.5 quarters? Can you sustain it every night? And that's got to be our mindset.
James also mentioned that this is the first time in his career he's been part of a team that this late into a season there really isn't an identity. Is this, building off that, is this the first time you've seen this late in a season a group of players have said there is no identity to your team?
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. I just answered the question for you.
But does it frustrate you when you hear the guys say that?
It don't frustrate me. It's frustrating to watch too. As much as they talk about the play, and it's frustrating to watch at times. Like I said, and we're better than that, and we've shown that. And so, we just gotta do our jobs. 1 through 15, and the coaches, we all just gotta do our jobs. Do your job, what we ask you to do, and once you don't do that, then we can adjust. Or when you do that, it doesn't work, we can adjust. And so we definitely have an identity, but I'm tired of hearing that word. So just keep talking with the players. I have an identity, and I know what the identity of our team is.
Coach, you've been talking about 48 minutes. Like you said, the first quarter, you guys look solid. Then you see a lot of, uninspired basketball. As a coach, how do you get that out of your players just to play with more energy and to do the things that you're looking for?
Like I said, we show it on film, every day. We go over it. We talk about it all the time. And so you just got to actually do it. You can't get bored with the process. And, you just got to do it. Just do your job. Whatever it is that we ask you to do, let's do it. It's only a couple people that's won a championship and know what it looks like. And so when you do things the right way, like I said, you still could lose and get beat, but at least you're doing it right. And so it's just hard to lose when you're not doing it right consistently for 48 minutes. And that's the hard part. And that's the thing we got to get back to doing.
So you mentioned that you were going to do some things that you probably wasn't really trying to do. I saw that backup centers didn't play at all. Daniel and Mason. Were you trying to go for there? How do you feel like the team executed? Do you think that that's something that's sustainable?
Just want to take a look at PJ at the backup five playing small to see how it looked. We really haven't had an opportunity to do that, since Russ has been out. And just want to take a look at it. And I thought we did some good things early on, and just something that I wanted to see, going forward. And it wasn't that bad, so we just got to continue to keep working on it.
Ty, what did you think of how Russ looked tonight?
I thought Russ looked good. I thought he had some pop. I thought he pushed the pace. I thought he got downhill, got to the basket, and then, bringing what he brings every night is that energy. So I thought he was really good, and something for us to build on, going forward.
You told us confidently that when the trade happened, it's not going to take you long to figure this out. You're going to figure it out. How do you feel about now trying to figure out whatever is ailing this team and trying to get it back to where it was?
I feel good. Yeah, I feel good about it. Like I said, it's things that we worked on that we've been doing. And like I said, in the first quarter, we made a conscious effort of doing those things. And I got to look at the rest of the game. But we made improvements, especially in that first quarter. And it's just, it's about, we always talk about sacrifice. But I just told the guys, I'm getting rid of that word. Like you guys say, effort. I'm getting rid of the sacrifice and call it investment. Like invested in the team, invested in what we need to do to win games. And so it's not going to be about you. It's not going to be about how you do. It's about what the team does. And so, so instead of saying sacrifice, invested.
And Coach, you guys are 1-9 against teams with winning records since the All-Star break. But I think what stands out to me more is the teams that have came in here and the way they've handled you guys. You look at Minnesota and Edwards. You look at last night with Maxey, and you look what Atlanta did. It just seems like when these teams go on these runs and they hit you guys with them, you guys don't fight back. But it just seems like you guys aren't embracing or accepting the challenge. And I think that goes back to the mental toughness that you talked about against Minnesota when they came in here about 2 weeks ago. Do you feel like sometimes that your guys, when they get hit first, they kind of hang their heads and the fight's just gone once these teams get up big, like you kind of saw tonight?
No, we definitely got to respond. It's been, games this year we won. We've been down big and come back and fight and scrap to get back in the game. And so it just seemed like when you're going through a tough time, a tough stretch, it seemed like one thing just snowballs. It just it's hard to stop, at times when you're going through tough times. But we got to get tougher. Like when stuff gets hard, we got to get harder, and so there's no excuses, we just got to play better, got to play harder. And like I said, we've shown that, when times are tough, we can galvanize our guys and get back to being positive on the floor. And so I wouldn't say that's for every game, but it has as of late, it has been tough for us.
Coach, in each of your losses this month, PG's overall plus minus has been a huge factor. Tonight he was -5. What more do you need out of PG to turn this thing around?
The last 6-7 games, like PG's been back to PG that we've known, and by taking the ball out of his hands early on this season, because we put it in James, so he wouldn't have to take the pound and the run and pick and roll every possession until the last 20 games of the season. He's been really good, and so just like Kawhi and PG taking the challenge of guarding the best players, every night now that we're getting closer to the playoffs. And we just need that defensive activity. We can score the basketball.
So when we were in Indy, James hit 8 threes by himself. The whole team hit 6, and James only attempted 1. And James has been talking about a shoulder. We've been talking about that for a month. Like, what do you see that's up with James in terms of his physical ability to even play right now, as well as why he's not being more aggressive, looking for the shots that we saw him hit for 3 months at a high level?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about his shoulder. Once James, he always tries to play through whatever he's going through, and so that's something you got to ask him. I'm not quite sure, how he's feeling.
As far as the team goes, you haven't had a game all year where you attempted fewer threes than tonight? Like, what were they doing that took that away from y'all?
Well, we wasn't attacking the paint, getting to the basket. You know, we know they're I think 30th in the league in paint attacks. They're 30th in the league in rim attacks, and talked about and showed it before the game, the stats and what we need to do to be successful. And we just, we didn't do that tonight. We didn't get there, and so when you're not getting to the paint, you don't really generate threes, normally. And so we didn't attack the basket in the fashion that we needed to, and that's what allowed us to take 23. They almost made more threes than we took, So that's what happens when you don't attack the basket.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Fans of the Clippers, so I'm grateful for that.
This team is clearly in a strange funk here. Just curious, what your assessment? What did you see missing? When you were able to from the sidelines, what did you kind of see today that kind of continued that pile on?
It's not one pinpoint thing to pin it on. I think collectively we just got to come together during tough times, adversity. To me, it's a real measure of kind of who you are as a man, and two, who you are as a team. And I think now is a perfect time for us to be able to pull together, use what we know how to win games, and use ourselves, each other, to help each other out to close games and win games.
Effort, physicality, and energy, a lot of things, playing hard. Those are things that have been said a lot the last couple of weeks. Hasn't resulted in any wins for the most part. I'm just curious, why do you think that is an issue right now in late March, that energy, effort?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one, I don't have that answer. I'm not sure, but all I know is that collectively we got to figure out ways to compete. The X's and O's really don't matter. You compete, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Russ, I think this is the second time you've come back from a broken hand in 3 weeks after surgery. Is it completely healed, and is there anything you can or can't do?
The word "can't" is not in my vocabulary. And I'm very gracious to the grace of God to be able to take my time, listen to my body, take care of my body prior to any injuries, to prepare myself for anything. And I'm grateful for the time to kind of sit back, reflect, and learn and see different things from a different perspective, but also, working my ass off to get back to coming back and, being with my teammates.
And Russ, since this team has been up and down, a lot of people have pointed to you being out those games you were out and the leadership that you brought to this table and them missing that while you were out. So a lot of people outside of you guys' organization looked at you as the leader. Moving forward, as the leader, what do you say to your team to try to get them to be playing their best basketball as you guys head toward the playoffs, because you guys want to be playing your best ball to give yourself a chance to really do what you guys think you guys are capable of doing?
Yeah, I think, man, one, you don't point fingers, you don't point blame, and that's something, how I lead, I don't. I think each individual, we got to look within ourselves and figure out how we can better help our team. And I think that's where we start. We start with ourselves. I start with myself. And then we come together collectively and figure out how we now bring what we all have and bring to the table. As we've seen, when we done it the right way, it shows us that we're a hard team to stop. And we know what our ceiling is. We know how we need to get there. And I think ultimately, as a leader, it's my job just to hold guys accountable, hold myself accountable, and make sure that we stay together through this tough little patch that we're having. And to me, it's simple as that.
So we're back. Just heard from Russ. Just heard from Ty Lue. The word of the day for the presser was identity. Coach said he knows his identity. He's trying to see if the team knows. What's the Clippers' identity to you, B?
We're going to scrap that word identity
Okay.
because it's too late in the season for you to be searching for identity. You usually have identity when you develop it back in training camp, even though the trade and things like that.
Yep.
But we're just going to put it as it is. This team is soft, unexpired, and not motivated. We're just going to cut it clear as day. There's no way a team should punch you in the mouth consistently every third quarter and you have no response.
Especially at home. We saw Ty Lue came in joking,
Mhm.
was like, man, I can't wait to get on the road because of their struggles. You lose to Philly with no Embiid. You lose to this Pacer team, even though they're a solid team, but they shouldn't be on the level of the Clippers. But, you know, Russ is back. He was able to give some solid minutes. What did you like what you saw from Russell Westbrook?
Oh, Russ do what Russ do. Provides energy, pushes the pace, and stellar defense, right? Even being, I wouldn't call Russ a small 5, but in the role he does play, he does provide that defensive paralysis that we like to see.
Yep. So the Clippers are going to be back later this week, but we got to focus in on what's going on right now.
Okay.
Do you expect maybe a lineup change, anything like that? We saw the minutes for the bigs. Would you think about tweaking the starting lineup if you Coach Lue?
As much as we, as fans, want to express tweaking things, some things don't need to be tweaked.
Okay.
It all boils down to the mental, and that's what needs to be tweaked. When you wake up in the morning, you got to understand. I put my pants on like everybody else, right? It's the same thing you do when you hit the court. You got to go out there and ball like everyone else, right? I'll just put it out there. PG, you have kids looking up to you, right? You have the next generation looking up to you. James Harden, the same thing. You can't leave the next generation questioning your work ethic and how you approach the game every day. So you really just got to go out there and ball. You got a legacy. You got all these acclimates, but no championship. So now you're going to have that question mark on your stain as you continue. So when you go to sleep and you go to Philly next game, answer that question. Do I want to keep that question mark there?
So speaking of Philly, that's what's up next for the Clippers. The word of the day, other than identity, I took from Coach Ty Lue was investment. Who's invested to really take this team to the next level? We're going to see because they're going to be on the road until next Wednesday or Thursday when they come back. So Clipper Nation, I know you guys are sad, but there is still hope. I think that they'll take care of it for you. But Michael Beef, Full Clip Clippers Unleashed. Make sure you guys check us out in studio Thursday or Friday morning, where it's gonna be so much fun. But hey, catch you guys next week.
Let's go.